Hey guys, this is week 39 of my series titled 52 Weeks of Reaper. Every week for 52 weeks, I'll be releasing a new video focusing on a key feature in Reaper. So let's jump right in. So for this week, our topic and our focus will be on custom menus. So this one's gonna be a little bit technical. It's gonna go back to some of the stuff that I touched on in weeks 14 and 15 when we talked about custom toolbars. So the link will be in the description for that if you need to check that out also. But what I'm talking about is in Reaper, every menu that you have, from the file menu to the edit, to the view, to the insert, all these menus up here can be customized. You can remove things if you want to, and you can add more menu items and options. If you feel that the file menu should have a specific action in here, you can actually put it in here. So like right here, when I right click on this blank area in the TCP, right here, we're gonna get a specific menu. And it's different from if I right click on here, which is a channel in the TCP. So if I do that, the menu is different from if I right click in here, and I can customize these menus. Actually, this menu is very customized. So everything after this option right here has been added by me. None of this comes by default in Reaper. And at the bottom, if you notice here, it says default menu, and it will show you what the default menu looked like. So it still retains the default menu once you start customizing the menu. And if you notice, it ends here where it says show send in TCP when size permits, and that's all the way up here. And then everything after that, I added. So the separations, this title right here that's faded that says drum one shots, and this separator here, and then more actions that I added. So with this one, I can just hit this and it's just gonna automatically load a kick for me. So it's gonna load the Re-Samplematic 5000 with a kick sample already loaded. And this is connected to my folder where I have just about all my samples. So we got the kick drum there. And if I want, I can hover over the selection area here by this drop-down menu and start rolling my scroll wheel. And it'll start to cycle through the rest of the samples in that folder. And then if I want to go further, I can hit browse, and then I can start browsing through all of my folders. So I had that already set up so that when I'm working quickly, when I need a kick, when I need a snare, I just right click, and I have hi-hats here, 808, snare. I have some other tracks already set up, track templates already set up, ready to go with plugins loaded, and I can just click it right here, load it quickly. So that's something that I felt I needed for my workflow. So I'm gonna go through and show you how to do that really quickly. So let's delete that. The easiest way for me to get to the option to start editing is to right click right here up by the toolbar, just right click on a blank area. And you will have the option here that says customize toolbar. You wanna select that. And usually we're dealing with the toolbars, but right here at this drop-down menu, if you open it up, it actually has menus in here. So if you notice, we see all the menus across the top here. File, edit, view, insert. And we see file, edit, view, insert, track, option, actions. All of them are here. And then also we have some more menus here. So the menu that we'd be looking for that we want to alter right now is where it says empty TCP context. And once I select that, now we're going to be looking at that. So on this entire screen here, let me make this a little bit smaller. All right, so over here, we have the section that says customized menu, and then we have the default menu over here. So we can just right click wherever we want, and we can add stuff. So when you right click, you get an option to insert an action, add a separator, insert a label, and you can add submenus. So if you notice here, we have a submenu that pops out. into something else. You can add these if you want. You can create submenus, and then you can populate the submenu based on what you want. So sky's the limit. And I love the fact that we have this level of customizability. So if you notice here, at the end of the actual original menu, the default menu, right over here is where it ends. And then I added a separator, and then I added these things. So I'm going to show you how to do that. So I want to add something after the snare. So first I'm going to close this out for now, and I'm going to show you guys what I'm going to add. So I'm going to add the trias player, which looks like this. Let's create that. So I'm looking to add this thing here, this trias player in the menu. So what I need to do is I need to add it as a track template. I already have a track template for the trias player saved, and I'm gonna find out what that number is in the resource window. So once again, like I said, this goes back to some of the techniques and the steps that I covered when creating a custom toolbar. So you can refer back to that, or you could just pay attention to what I'm doing here. So go to the extension menu, come down to SWS/S&M, and we're gonna slide down to where it says resources. This window is gonna pull up, and I'm gonna hit the name button so that it's gonna put all the plugins in order by name, because we're gonna be looking in the T section for the trias player. So right here we have trias player, and over here it says 193. So it's in slot 193. All right, so just remember that. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go back to editing that menu by, once again, right clicking on the toolbar up here, go to customize toolbar. We're gonna go back and select that toolbar again that we want to edit, which is the empty TCP context menu. So I think I should right click underneath the option that's by snare, because I want it to be under snare. So let's see if that works out right. Right click here, I'm gonna select insert action, and the action I'm gonna type in is going to be import 193. So it's gonna import whatever track template is in slot 193, which we saw on the resource menu was the trias player. So depending on what you're trying to load, if it is a track template, that's how you would do it. So we're gonna do import 193, and the option is right here. We're gonna double click on that, and it loaded it right underneath the snare where I want it to be. This name is too long and is nonsensical, so I'm gonna double click on it, and you get the option up here to rename it. I'm gonna type in trias player, hit OK. So now it gave it the name, and that's about it. We have to hit OK, or you can hit apply then OK, but just hit OK, it'll do both. And now when we right click, we will see option here, trias player. And with nothing selected here, if I right click and I select this, it should load the trias player. And there we go. Trias player loaded, ready to go. So that's how I went about customizing that menu with certain instruments that I wanted. My sampler, piano, and it's just easy for me when I'm working to easily load things quickly, especially my track templates. And even my track template for recording vocals is right there. So there you have it. Another menu that I did customize was this menu here, where we right click in a blank area in the arrangement window. And what I wanted was, I always want to add an empty item within a selection area. And usually you have to, with the track selected, select an area, arrange, and then you have to go up to insert and then select empty item. and then it'll insert an empty item. Just delete that. But now I have it where I can just right click here and select insert empty item. By default, that is not in the menu. The default menu looks like this. And after insert marker is create region. But I put insert empty item, insert marker, create region. So I altered that menu to optimize my workflow based on the way I work. So just about any menu, if you right click on an item, right click on a channel, you right click on the mixer, there is the option to go in and to customize those menus. So if you look in here, just browse around and look, you have media item context menu, you have track spacer context menu, we have the mixer context menu. They're all here. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid you're gonna screw something up. See what context menu you might wanna add something to, just to give you quicker access to certain things. So when you're in the MIDI edit screen, you might say, hey, there's this thing that I want quick access to. Just want to right click and then get to it quickly. You can create and add to this menu, add separators, add submenus, and really customize these menus to your liking, to what's gonna support and help your workload and your workflow. So like I've always said, and I haven't said it a while in the series, is that all these changes that you make can and will be saved in Reaper's configuration file. So whenever you make any changes, I like to do this at least once a quarter. Whenever I make changes in Reaper with the settings, with scripts, menu changes, adding toolbars, editing toolbars, anything that I do, I always make sure that I go to options, come all the way down to preferences, or you can select Control P, select that, go all the way to the top option over here on the left, which is general, and you go right here where it says export configuration. Make sure everything you want to export is checked, which should be pretty much everything. I usually have the languages unchecked and unsaved cached metadata unchecked, but everything else is checked, including your menus and toolbar changes. You hit save once the save button becomes active, and you save that configuration file somewhere safe. Back it up online somewhere, back it up on a hard drive also, so that if you reinstall Reaper on your system for whatever reason, or you get a new computer, you get an additional computer, and you install Reaper, you can just go back to this screen, go to import, and import that same configuration file. All your settings, all your themes, all your scripts, all your tweaks, all your menu changes that you've done, your customizing of menus, customizing of toolbars, all that stuff will be saved, and it will reload and repopulate the way you last had it when you saved that configuration file. So these are the things that, once again, I love about Reaper: customizability, and the fact that I don't have to do it again. I can continue to build on it. I don't have to reconstruct from scratch. I can just continue to add to it. So that's it, guys, for the video. That is customizing your menus in Reaper. Amazing feature, very, very flexible. Once again, thanks for watching. And as always, you will see me in the next video.